First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth, who have taught me this truth. And a shout out to you Akim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth, going into your cities and your streets proclaiming this truth, risking your lives to do so. As we know that we're at the very end of this thing, the Israeli state, Levant, ISIL, has pretty much been losing their war. Their terrorists, their proxies are being defeated by Bashar al-Assad and the Syrian Arab army. So what are they doing? They're trying to, the Israeli state, Amalek, has fired upon Syria. Syria has also fired back. You know, finally, after all this time, Syria did fire back, but they fired back at the Golan Heights. They never fired into the Israeli state. But the Israeli state, Amalek, is claiming that Iran attacked them. Iran had nothing to do with it. Syria has the right to defend itself because it's a sovereign nation, you know. Just like, you know, the terrorists that are in Syria, northern Syria, the U.S. occupation, it's an illegal occupation. They were not invited by the Syrian government to be there. So their proxies, their terrorists are being wiped out as the Syrian Arab army is regaining control around Damascus countryside and the southern areas. You know, they've recently liberated Douma, which is where they pulled off the false flag chemical attack, you know, to try to blame the Syrian Arab army, you know, Bashar al-Assad. And, of course, like everything else, the whole white helmet staging thing fell apart, you know, as they were able to provide proof that the whole thing was nothing but a hoax. So what are they doing now? They're trying to pull off other false flags, such as the stabbing in Paris yesterday, or at least in France, that there was a multiple stabber who pledges loyalty to ISIL. It's all fake and it's all bullshit, you know, just to make you believe that the ISIS group is still strong as can be and that the U.S. has to be in there. The U.S. to police the world. But this is going to be the downfall of ISIL, because most people that have an actual brain in their fucking head knows that it's all bullshit. It's the same shit, but on a different scale. You know, just like there were no chemical weapons in Iraq. There were no chemical weapons in Libya. As Bashar al-Assad had said in his own words that, you know, he had given up these chemical weapons in 2013. And why would he use chemical weapons if he's already liberated the area to begin with? You know, if he'd already won, he has no need to use them anyways, even if he did have them. And that's just putting it into logic. But of course, like everything else, they're going to try to falsify items. And, you know, this Israeli state attacks have also been in the Gaza Strip. You know, pretty much, you know, it was pretty much a real march for freedom in the Palestine areas of Gaza. You know, and, you know, the slightest demonstration, all that, what happens? Amalek, the Israeli state, uses their warplanes to hit on innocent civilians, you know, who are just demonstrating that they want a better life there, you know, because of the illegal occupation of these gutter rats, you know, that don't even belong there, because the land is not theirs. Who does the land belong to? It belongs to the real Israelites, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the confusion of faith will be among us. But we're not going to return to that land until Yahushai himself comes down, beams us up, and we come down with him. When we reclaim our heritage, when we get reinstated, you know. And what do we need to do to get reinstated? Occupy. Keep coming out here until he comes. Keep coming out here and proclaiming this truth while you still can, while there's still internet, while, you know, you're not under martial law yet. But you know that they keep on staging these false flag events and then declaring martial law, you know. And then, of course, you have volcanoes erupting, you know, that lava lake that's pretty much in Hawaii, you know, that they keep spewing out lava. You saw it on the streets, you know. So we see all these things popping up, letting us know, though, that we're in times of the end. Famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. You know, all these things are happening. So a parable is being taken upon Mount Seir, you know, upon Esau, the so-called white man. You know, the caveman that came down from the cliff rocks and started taking over, you know. He didn't even know how to talk, to read, or to write. He was a caveman. you know, but he came down and he started taking over civilizations. That's how he conquered Europe. And that's how he conquered the rest of the world, pretty much. He had taken over the nobles and all that, you know, and pretty much had changed the images thereof, you know. He is the caveman. That's why you see in a lot of his illustrations the so-called white man being a caveman, because that's what he is. So there's actually some truth into that, you know, but they try to link it to the dinosaur age and all that. But really, though, dinosaurs got extinct a long time ago, but they try to make you believe that Esau was always here, that the first man on earth was the caveman. And so, you know, that's actually false. The caveman came down and started taking over everything, you know. And so that's how he had conquered all these areas, because he dwelled in the cliff rocks, just like the scriptures say. I'm going to read out of Isaiah chapter 34, starting in verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken. You people, let the earth hear, and all that is there in the world, and all the things that come forth out of it. You know, so who's out there to shout this out? Who's really out here? The elders and apostles, great millstone, and great millstone itself, you know. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. And that's why they cannot leave Syria, Iraq, Iran alone. You know, they're being delivered to the slaughter. Walls of Jericho effect is happening right now. All our enemies are fighting each other. Their slain shall also be cast out. Their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. You know, so that's another clue right there as to who he's talking about. Who are the people that came down from the mountains, you know, and has a stench? The so-called caveman, which is Esau, the so-called white man. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. That's talking about the thermonuclear weapons, these weapons of indignation. Scrolls is another term for mushroom clouds. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, another code word for America, also Esau, Edom, and upon the people of my curse to judgment, because Esau, Edom, is the cursed race. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, and the fat of the kidneys of rams. And the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah. Bozrah is another code word for America. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So he's going to destroy all these Edomite nations. Pretty much, he's going to cleanse the entire world of these goddamn Edomites. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. So again, you know, this is coming. This is when we get beamed up and we come down with Yahweh Shai. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompense and controversy of Zion. Because we never did get recompense, but this is the day we get recompense for all the things that they had done to, you know, what you know of as the Native American, the tribe of Gad and Reuben, you know, for what they had done to them. You know, this is their day of recompense. This is the day that they finally see justice. And then for Judah and for Levi and Benjamin and all the Latino tribes, we're going to finally see justice. We're going to finally see this white man, this Edomite, destroyed. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land therefore shall become burning pitch. Yeah, because all these nuclear weapons are going to explode. And what creates a lake of fire? It's going to look like a hot lava pit, like a lava lake, you know, because not only do you have the nuclear missiles hitting, but you also will have the fire coming from them ships, what they like to call UFOs. It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever and ever, from generation to generation. It shall be waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. So again, you know, this place is going to be a place of desolation, of owls, you know, and all the fowls of the earth. Pretty much only desolate creatures, you know, dragons, which we know of as lizards, will be here. You know, you ain't going to see anything nice here. It's just nothing but a burnt pile. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl, keyword owl, also, and all the ravens shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stone of emptiness. So that's what this place is going to be. It's going to be a smoked out, burnt place, burnt to a crisp, and you can see nothing but owls and ravens here, you know, really dead. Shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, which we're the nobles, by the way, so we're going to get back our kingdom. But none shall be there, and all our princes shall be nothing. I think this is talking about the Edomites, of course, but we're going to have our kingdom back, and these Edomites that call themselves nobles are going to be destroyed in this land. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortress thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons, which I told you are lizards, and a court for owls. Again, this place is going to be nothing but a smoked out, burnt out place. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there, and find herself a place of rest. There the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall be vultures also gathered, every one with her mate. So again, that's talking about America, Babylon the Great. What's going to become? A ruinous heap, if you will. Just like they're going to do to Syria. Well, the same thing's going to happen to Idumea, to Babylon the Great. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. And that's what we're trying to do now. We're going to try to come back to law, statutes, and commandments, and to know this book, which he had given his prophets the interpretation of this. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast the lot for them, and in his hand had divided it into them, line by line. They shall possess it forever and ever, from generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So I hope this has been edifying, and, like everything else, keep proclaiming this truth while you still can. Because like everything else, though, they are going to shut down YouTube. They are going to shut down any videos that has truth to it, especially us. So till then, just keep on occupying till the Most High returns. Shalom.